This is day 4 of journaling my trades until I become profitable. Okay, for my technical analysis, we're going to hop straight onto the daily chart. I'm just going to tell you what I see. Well, straight off the bat, I see that we reacted bearish from this volume imbalance here. Put this down candle in. But that being said, I am still bullish. The reason for that is it looks like we're going to put in a daily order block and finish above the volume imbalance here. But what are we delivering from to bring us up? So from what I see, we've tapped into this volume imbalance. We came down, but what's bringing us up? There's no fair value gap here on NQ to bring us up. But if we look over at ES over here, we can see that there is a volume imbalance below us that we have tapped into and that we are reacting bullish from. So, that being said, we're talking about targets for today from just the daily time frame. Got previous day high. Maybe potentially we can anticipate price to, go above. We put in this order block and we'll finish high. But my current draw is this, and it looks like ES is going to just run all of this trend line here, these relative highs. Yeah, so again, from looking at the 4-hour chart, it definitely looks like to me that we're bouncing straight off of this 4-hour gap here, and we're going to run all of these relatives. We do have this last roadblock here. Once we close over this, we do have this last roadblock here. This will be very important to see if we just sweep this and bounce down. But if we don't, which I don't think we will, I think we'll close through this 4-hour. 10 a.m. will be important to see if we close through this big 4-hour on ES here. If we close through it, then we should just rip up here. We might expect some sort of 10 a.m. manipulation where we get a little bit of a candle down, respect the 15-minute, and then bounce off of it and just take all of these highs. I think this is all-time highs here. So I think we're expecting to hit all-time highs soon. I think the current draws on ES are definitely all-time highs. Now, when it comes to NQ, we're doing the same thing. We're reacting off of these 4-hour order blocks. Also, we are respecting this 4-hour PD array, the fair value gap here, and we're definitely reacting bullish. So we'd want to take this high and close bullish too. And definitely what I see here is huge 4-hour fair value gaps that we can definitely target for today. So this part's quite funny, how I mentioned that if we don't close above the 4-hour and we sweep the highs, that 4-hour delivery will bring us down lower and we'll dump. Now, at this point of my technical analysis, 8:30 had completely swept my mind. I had no idea that there was news at the moment, and if I had known that at the time of my technical analysis and I had seen that 8:30 candle, I probably would have been way more open to the idea of sweeping the highs and then catching a short down at market open. But I fell in love with the idea the second I met it, if that made sense. Once I made this analysis and then, however long later I found out about news, I had already kind of stuck to the idea that we were bullish. And you'll see later on in the session when the kind of coin drops and I realize, okay, we're actually going to go straight for these news lows, and I start looking for shorts then. For market open, I'm expecting a move into the 15-minute before continuing higher. So that's this 15-minute, I believe this is where I'll be looking for my trade. If we finish through, then I expect us to take these lows. There's a 15-minute here. I'm not sure how important that will be, with kind of like relative lows as well. So that is a nice point of liquidity for the market to take before continuing higher. But this is a big fair value gap, so I don't know. Looks like we're gonna pump here and we might even take our first draw. Okay, we're closer to market open now. What I do notice, we have this SMT we've swept. One of the points that I was interested in on NQ, and we just couldn't do it on ES. The new hourly opened and it opened bearish. We're inside this 15-minute bullish fair value gap now. If we do come up from this, I'm not taking anything. I don't want anything to be took from this initial 15-minute. It's too high up in the range, too high up in premium. It's just not a good entry point for me. I would much prefer if we come down into this. Now, another thing I noticed is this is news. This bottom wick is news, a news candle. So we have these lows that we can target if we're starting to present ourselves bearish, but I'm not sure. My overall bias is still bullish. I do think we are bullish, but we do have this nice draw here. So this is market open. If you do notice, we actually kind of manipulate both ways. So once we come up, we actually get a 30-second here, but I don't really like this 30-second. If you were really had strong conviction to the news low at the time, which probably a lot of people did have, you could have jumped in on this 30-second. The reason I did not is because I was scared about that low being protected, because we just reswept everything to the left and then we pumped up. So I thought if we were bullish, we would just continue upwards. So just got my draw wrong there, unfortunately. And we do pump down, and we're pumping down. And I have a 5-minute intermediate term low marked out, but realistically, I wanted to see a reaction out of the 15-minute. And you'll see here, once we tap the 15-minute, we actually do get a strong reaction upwards from it. And it's not till a long time later do I realize, okay, we're not going to actually come up from the 5-minute, we're going to come up from the 15-minute that's a little bit higher, that I completely forgot about. And once I see that, I rush to go to the 1-minute chart, because there was a fair value gap that we respected very hard. So I knew there was a lot of liquidity on the swing point of that wick, at the top of that wick. So it would be a nice first kind of draw or break even point. So it's kind of a discretionary trade. I think I got in a little bit earlier, but you'll see yourself. I just rush over to the 1-minute chart, and then I throw on a long, and I target the highs. Okay, we're going to go break even here. Fuck, that was really good. That was a good trade. Quick, quick, quick. Oh, I missed this 15-second. So yeah, there's a bit of frustration there, because as you can see, my laptop kind of struggles, especially when I'm going down to the lower time frames, like the 30 or 15-second time frames. My laptop can't handle it, and I knew there was a trade incoming there, but I just couldn't get in on time. I had to just kind of watch it play out, and we did tap into a smaller 15-second and 30-second, I think, below, so I couldn't even enter into it anyway. But I think I would have got a good positioning if I did load in quick, because I think I would have jumped in that 15-second very quickly. I seen that fast momentum downwards, and yeah, it's at this point I kind of start to realize that the draw might be lower because of that aggression. I look to the left and I see all the trend line that's below, and I think about the 5-minute ITL, and I think about the news low, and I say, wow, we have a lot of draws below. I'm looking at ES as well. Look at the rejection of that swing point. That's a protected high now. So yeah, it's at this point I'm starting to realize we could be looking for shorts. So with this trade, we came back up into the huge 15 second that we put in. But there's one thing I noticed about this trade that I was a bit unsure of. We came into the volume imbalance of the 15 second. So that's a bit odd. So I was thinking, oh, what if we just resweep and get into the actual BPR, which is just above the volume imbalance. And I was thinking at that point, if we sweep the high and we go into the BPR and we reject heavily, I'm going to re-enter. And that's what happened. So if you're wondering why the re-entry, it's a bit of a rule break, but I was confident in it. I did think we were going to come down from this point, especially with the news below. And it's just unfortunate the first trade got stopped out because it was quite good. And then the second one does get stopped out, unfortunately, too. But you see later on in the session, we just dump. So it was just two unfortunate trades. One was a loss, which it shouldn't have been. We just kind of got like manipulated out of the trade with a resweep. And then the second one was a break even just because of ES and its SMT, which is really annoying. But anyway. Okay, I'm going to get chopped up if I don't stop trading. So I took one loss there. This is my last attempt. So this was going to be my last attempt at taking a short, and it was a nice 15 second again with a break even point, but we kind of disrespected it a little bit. You'll see later on. The reason we disrespect that rule, I know it sounds like it's a huge rule break, re-entering my trades, but I do have strong conviction, and that break even rule break was a strong one for me because we had left behind a 1 minute fair value gap and a 15 second as well. That's a BPR, and I just wanted to get that tapped before we continued lower, and that's exactly what happened. We came up, we tapped those points, and we just dumped them straight after that, and I didn't have to worry about break even because we just went straight to the target. And if you'll notice as well, I actually exit the trade earlier than anticipated, and the reason for that is on NQ we hit the news low, but on MNQ we do not. And if you know anything about MNQ and NQ, NQ is the real chart. MNQ just tries to simulate NQ, and it can't do it 100%. So when NQ hits liquidity like a data low, MNQ does not have to hit it. So yeah, anyway, to end things, 3-hour trade. I think I made back 2-hour. I lost the first trade and then I got a 3-hour trade. So all in all, 2-hour. The one thing I didn't like about this trade is just kind of the way I'm handling it. I'm a bit of a pussy. Like I'm trailing tight when I know the draw is strong. I've known the draw is strong for the last 2 trades, for the last 5 to 10 minutes. So I don't know why I'm trailing close now. But anyway, it hits, and I still wish I trailed it now that it's later on and it's hindsight, because we absolutely dump. Oh look, it's absolutely dumping. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We took our piece of the pie. But yeah, ending the day on a win. Great. Yeah. See you tomorrow.